Federal documents show Vanderbilt University Medical Center was not upfront with the community and the county medical examiner about a deadly medication error. 10 News anchor Beth Haynes joining us now live with the latest on this investigation. Beth.
Robin, according to an investigation report from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the hospital left out crucial details when telling the medical examiner about how the patient died. We now know a nurse gave a 75-year-old patient a deadly dose of the wrong medication. The patient was supposed to receive a drug for anxiety, but instead was giving a deadly dose of the paralysis drug used in Tennessee's lethal injection protocol. Reports show the drug caused the patient to lose consciousness, suffer cardiac arrest, and ultimately be left brain dead. But not all of that information was given to the Davidson County medical examiner, who is supposed to investigate all unusual deaths. Instead, documents show the hospital said the patient died from bleeding and that any medication errors were purely hearsay. This led the medical examiner's office to decline to investigate because staff believed the patient died a natural death. Now, when asked about the discrepancy, Vanderbilt spokesman John Hauser said the patient's death was reported before there was a definitive conclusion about the cause of death. He did not comment on what staff specifically told the medical examiner. John.
Beth Haynes on the story. Thanks for the update. Today, Fort Sanders Regional Medical Center unveiled its plans to help